Okay, I'm gonna clean y'all, make that a little bit clearer. Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is currently a Friday morning for me. I'm filming outside, so please excuse the noises. As always, I think I literally heard someone in the background who just started some yard work, so we're just going to ignore this because I'm a little pressed on time. But I wanted to be sure I was intentional with you guys this week and sat before you guys this week and filmed a video. So I'm actually currently on my way out of town. I just got back from LA. I'll give you guys a little rundown of the timeline, but I'm about to head out of town to go spend some time with my parents this weekend, and I still wanted to be sure I had a moment to sit down before you guys, have a conversation with you guys, and update you guys on some really special things. So a little bit of a timeline for y'all. I just got back from LA on Wednesday night at literally 1:30 a.m. and it's currently a Friday morning, so very fresh back from my trip. But to give you guys a little bit of a gist, for those who are just following me along on YouTube, you might be confused on the timeline. For those following me on Instagram, check out my Instagram because you can definitely keep up with me a little bit more live and in the moment of like where I'm at and my whereabouts and all that good stuff. The past two vlogs I posted were from my trip to LA. That was actually over 3 weeks ago. So I spent 3 weeks in LA and returned back 3 weeks ago, and I recently flew out to LA for a quick 72-hour trip and just got back. So there's two separate different LA trips I am referring to in my recent travels. But what I wanted to share, is there a bug? What I wanted to share in today's video are some of the God stories from my trip to LA 3 weeks ago. The recent vlogs I shared were from that original trip to LA, and I just kept sharing and reiterating over and over again that God was doing so incredibly much. And some of you guys sent me comments as well as personal messages of Bree, if you are ready, we would love to hear some of those God stories. And first of all, I thank you guys for being so curious and interested as well as patient with my heart and just allowing me to always keep things sacred. You guys are the best. But I thought, for the sake of my own heart and for the sake of y'all's, that it would be such a deep encouragement for me to share some of the wonderful things that God did while I was in LA 3 weeks ago. I can also hear bugs just making noises, so I'm very sorry. I really pray y'all can hear me. I need to get one of those like little mics so like audio will always be clear. But all that's to say, in today's video, I'm going to share about 3 God stories of what God did while I was in LA for those 3 weeks, and just kind of paint a more beautiful picture of, one, the goodness of God, the faithfulness of God, and just to invite you guys in a little bit more into some of the miraculous moments that I experienced. So let's jump right on into it. First story. If y'all can see here, I have this little cross tattoo on my neck. I love it. It is my recent addition. It is my 4th tattoo. And this is probably one of my most significant God stories. I had a little hair on me. So while I was in LA, something that was really important to me is that I wanted to get plugged into community. I wanted to check out some churches. And the very first Sunday, I had the opportunity to go and attend a church. And at that point, I had been in LA for about a week. So I knew of a church that I wanted to go visit, and everyone I had been meeting attended this specific church. So though I knew some people that were going, one of my good friends that I knew in LA had just left town, and I was essentially showing up to church by myself, anticipating that I'd probably see people that I had met earlier that week, but essentially going myself. So a little backstory, that Sunday morning, I walked myself to a coffee shop because everything was within walking distance. So I walked to a coffee shop, I was journaling, and I had been in LA for about a week, and I was just praying. I was like, God, I just pray that you would make the purpose known of why you led my heart and my desires in me physically to LA. What do I need to realize? What revelations do I need to have? What purpose do I need to uncover? And I was just really inviting God into that moment of like, I just want for it to be made known why I'm here. Why did you call this upon my heart to spend 3 weeks in LA? And little did I know that God was going to give me a glimpse of that just a few hours later. So spent time with the Lord, had coffee, and then walked to church. And I walked into the church building, and immediately, small bladder Brie had to go straight to the bathroom. So I'm like looking at all the signs, trying to figure out where the bathroom is. And I see a sign that shows that the bathroom is downstairs. And so I walk in, I start heading down the stairs, and this girl is like kind of following behind me, and she's like, is this the way to the bathroom? And I go, I don't know, I think so. It's my first time here, so I'm pretty sure. And she goes, oh, no way, it's my first time here too. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm here alone. And she goes, I'm here alone too. And I was like, well, perfect, like let's sit next to each other. Of course, like we're both here by ourselves, like let's be friends. And so we get to the bottom of these bathroom stairs, and she turns around and looks at me, and she goes, you look so familiar. And in my head, I'm like, there is absolutely no way I can look familiar. This is my first time at this church. I don't even live here. Like, there's just no way. And she's looking at me for probably another split second, and she goes, oh my gosh, I just followed you on TikTok 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. And I was like, what? We walk into the bathroom, and we're like proceeding and carrying on with this conversation, and she shares, Brie, I'm going through a really hard time, and you shared a TikTok that I liked just 2 or 3 days ago, followed you because of it, and felt so encouraged by what you had shared, and I would love to share the entire story of that after church. And I was just like in a moment of so immediately taken aback, so in awe, so in wonder. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so special. I cannot wait to hear about the testimony of this. And so we go to the bathroom, we go to church. Service was incredible. We sat next to each other, and while I was at church, I had the opportunity to meet up with my friends that I had met the previous week, and they were all like, Brie, like let's go out to lunch. And I was like, you guys, like I just have this incredible testimony of this girl that I just met. Like I really feel so firmly on my heart that we need to go to lunch together. And so I asked her, do you want to go to lunch and like go talk things through, and I want to hear your story, and I want to hear, you know, what you're going through. And so we did, and we ended up walking over to her house and then walking to lunch, and proceeded to spend like 3 hours together over lunch. And it was such a divine, anointed, like beautiful time together, where it was so like there's no mistaking that our meeting was so divinely from God, and that we were just able to speak into each other's lives and love one another and encourage one another and listen to one another. And it was just as like our spirits were so drawn to each other, and we were just so familiar to one another. It felt so immediately as if she was a friend that I've known for a lifetime. And what's beautiful is like that is a very familiar feeling for me. Some of my very best friends here in Austin, I experienced a very similar feeling of when I first befriended them. Like my roommate is one of those testimonies. Like the moment I met her, I was like, this is an instant friendship because this is from the Lord, and the peace of the Lord is covering this. And that's how it felt. And it was so like beautiful to embrace, and like so like incredible. And it's like also one of those things where it's like no surprise that God is doing this and authoring this, because he's just that good. And so we had a wonderful meal together, just was like nonstop talking about the goodness of God and just our lives and what we're going through. And she got to share with me the encouragement of the TikTok I posted, which is wild, you guys, because the specific TikTok that encouraged her was actually the first TikTok I posted when I arrived to LA. Like God and the details are just like above and beyond. It's insane. And so we're wrapping up with lunch, and I think she might have, I don't remember exactly how it came up. Like maybe she asked me like, oh, what do your tattoos mean? You all know I have like 2 right here that are visible. And anyways, I proceeded to share with her that the day before I was spending a solo day in Venice Beach, and I spontaneously walked into spontaneously walked into a tattoo shop, because this was a tattoo that was so prevalently on my heart that I wanted to get, that just the day before, as I was taking myself on a little solo date through LA, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go like get this tattoo myself, because I don't know, I thought it would just be like a perfect way to wrap up my little solo date with me, and it's something that I've been desiring for a while. And so anyways, the day prior, I like walked into this tattoo shop, and I walked in, I was so excited, and I asked them like how much a tattoo would cost. As anyone who's gotten a tattoo knows that tattoos have a minimum, and when they told me the minimum cost, in that moment I was like, you know what, I don't know if I really want to spend this money right now. It's pretty comparable to what tattoos usually are, but I was just, for some reason, was like, you know what, maybe I'm not meant to get this in this immediate moment. So anyways, I proceed to fast forward, tell my friend this at lunch, and she was like, Bree, this is just so crazy, but as you were speaking, I just felt like the Lord was inviting me to bless you and inviting me to pay for your tattoo. And I was like, oh, what? And she proceeds to go on like, would you want to go get this tattoo right now? And I was just so taken aback, as if I wasn't already taken aback enough. I was so taken aback by her heart, her generosity, and her instantaneous friendship, but then let alone this offer. And I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yes, Bree, like, let's go get this tattoo. She proceeds to tell me that she's actually been wanting a similar cross tattoo somewhere like within this vicinity. And so anyways, we end up returning back to the tattoo shop that I had visited just the day prior. Like, what the heck, Lord, literally foreshadowing what was to come. We go to this tattoo shop. We both decide that we want to get the same tattoo with a similar placement, and we proceed to literally get this cross tattoo on our neck. She blesses me, she pays for my tattoo, and it was just such a like above and beyond beautiful moment. Like the synchronicity and the fact that this is a tattoo that we both have been wanting, and just in the same placement, that our paths would cross, that the Lord would use social media to be a source of encouragement. And I can honestly say, I'll disclose, her name is Nadia, my love Nadia. I love you so much if you are watching this. We have quite truly become instantaneous friends. I have been texting her non-freaking stop since coming back from LA. We've like FaceTime. She's been such an encouragement to me as I'm just navigating a lot of things and decisions going through my head. And while I was in LA earlier this week for my second trip, within a short time frame, I stayed with her, and we like met up and we got dinner and we celebrated and we went to Bible study together. And it's truly just like such an anointed God-authored friendship that the Lord brought together. And so later that evening, just to tie it on up, I was invited to go have a picnic on the beach with some of my new friends that I'd met, and I invited her, of course. And it was just such a surreal, like, pinch me, I'm dreaming moment of being before all these new friends who absolutely have treasured me and welcomed me and just loved Jesus, and the presence of his love was so like clear during my time there that I was like, gosh, Lord, like what a beautiful glimpse of how your people are absolutely anywhere. There's no place that is too dark, that is too lost, that is too far gone, that God's people aren't present in. Like his light is so much more radiant than anything that this world portrays anywhere as. So that is my God story about my little tattoo, my sweet friendship with Nadia. You guys will likely meet her very soon, but I love you guys with all of my heart, and I pray that that can be felt in this moment. And I will talk to you guys and invite you guys into more of my life very soon. Bye, my loves. Mwah.